If you're like most people, right now you're feeling overwhelmed by the world. That's because you're not lucid. Now, here's how you can recognize you've lost lucidity. You're suffering over things you cannot presently materially change, which doesn't serve you, and yet the cycle persists. That's how you know. That is the token that should alert you that you've lost lucidity and fallen into identification with bad dreams you yourself are creating and worsening. Stay with us for this short video and we'll show you how to escape this and even grow stronger and more competent, exercising more and more sovereignty in the dream of the world. Good morrow, you magnificent godling. Thanks for dropping by. Now, I intend to make our time together as helpful and empowering as possible. So if you have questions or want deeper help, leave me a note in the comments so I can tailor future sessions to your needs. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Doing so, as you know, causes the algorithm to get the information out to more people who need to awaken lucid within the dream of the world. So today we're going to talk about Jennifer's question. Hi, Jennifer. This will help you and everyone listening. So, you catch yourself in loops of doom scrolling, imagining worst-case scenarios and feeding your own dread. Your mind is running and you, consciousness, are riding along with it. You are caught up in the cycle of checking the news to stay informed, and your mind tells you this makes you safer in a scary world. But really, it's just feeding the biochemical stress loops that are keeping you identified with your mind and hostage to the very fears your unwitnessed self-talk feeds. Let me make that more clear. It's keeping your body pumped full of the very stress hormones that make you physically miserable and unhealthy, and it perpetuates the behaviors that are keeping the cycle repeating. So what's to do? Well, the first thing to do is to notice you're doing it and that it's not serving you. So you're there so far. You've noticed it and you know it's not serving you. So let's talk about the difference between fear and anxiety, because they feel similar, yet they're very different. Fear arises when the body senses a real and present threat. It's helpful. Anxiety arises when the mind projects into the future and generates scary what-if scenarios that only serve to drain your energy. What you're experiencing comes from mistaken identification with the mind. That is to say, it couldn't happen if you were not confusing yourself with your mind. You are consciousness itself. The mind is your instrument. You are its sovereign. Yet right now, the mind, which is a program of beliefs, just as much truth as they are false, beliefs, there's a lie in the middle of belief. Right now, the mind, which is a program full of beliefs, is masquerading as you. It's presenting your debit card at the eternal energy bank, robbing you of your godling energy and using it to attack your peace. And that is your rightful peace. It is what you deserve as a godling. When the mind runs unchecked, it consumes your attention and converts it into dread by endlessly imagining the precise outcomes that you do not want. So you're actually experiencing them as if they were real and present when they are not. The outcome is that you have created and are living in the biochemical reality of exactly the scenario you don't want, which isn't yet present and may never be. This can only happen when you're allowing the mind to create unconsciously, which means you, consciousness, are not present supervising your mind. When you reclaim authority over your attention, you reclaim sovereignty over the mind. And in that moment, you realize what you are. And it's not the mind. It's the consciousness that observes the mind, that disciplines the mind. This is lucidity. As a simple consequence of your growing lucidity, your energy returns to you, consciousness. It's important you realize that suffering comes precisely from mistaken identifications in which you, consciousness, fall into dreamlike states. When those mistaken identifications are observed by you, consciousness, you awaken from the trance. So here's a practice for you, Jennifer. This will really help. This is one of the first ones we teach in our Lucidity Mastery series. The moment you catch yourself doom scrolling or imagining what you fear, stop. Step away from the computer, put the phone away, turn it to no ringer. Close your eyes, get relaxed someplace. Now, create vividly a scenario in which you have already overcome everything. This is your triumph scenario. In it, you will manifest as if it were real and present, the person you will be, and the things you will do, and the way you will feel when you have overcome all your present challenges. Place yourself inside it. Project it all around you. Not like you're looking in through a window. Feel it. See it. Hear it. Taste it. Let it surround you vividly as a lived reality. So who are you in that moment? What has changed? How do you feel when you're standing in this triumph? We call this exercise imagifestation. The body believes the mind. When the mind tells the body scary stories, the body reacts chemically like the scariness is real and present. When you, consciousness, imagifest triumph scenarios, the body believes that too. And it answers with heightened feelings of empowerment, calm, and clarity. So when the mind won't stop presenting you with scary scenarios, remember the mind is like a teething puppy. You can't just tell it to sit, stay, be quiet in the corner, don't do anything. Unless you give it something appropriate to chew on instead of your fears, it will destroy the whole house, your body. By your will, you must give it a triumph scenario to chew on instead of leaving it to its own devices. Each time you do this, your attention shifts from fear to creation. The energy that once fueled dread returns to you, consciousness. Your inner space opens. Clarity replaces noise. This is lucidity. It is the beginning of lucidity. And every time you take your power back from the mind run amok, your lucidity brightens. It deepens. It intensifies. You become more and more unflappable. And you want that. In lucidity is competence. It is the mastery of your mind that comes when you are no longer in mistaken identification with the mind. You're in charge. In lucidity, you direct your attention with precision. Your mind becomes your tool aligned with your will. Your inner world becomes steady, clear, powerful, vast, and calm. You will recognize lucidity growing in you because your reactivity lessens. Your clarity deepens and your sense of overwhelm dissolves. You begin to stand as the one who chooses and acts rather than the one who reacts against what they do not choose. I know this path intimately. I went through simultaneous withdrawal from Lexapro and Percocet. Lexapro is an SSRI that was prescribed for anxiety. During that withdrawal process, anxiety rose to levels that were almost impossible to manage. I applied these exact techniques, and they carried me through. Since November 2021, anxiety has had no hold on me. Not one single attack have I had. That is not to say the world does not still try to attack my peace. When it does, I, consciousness, observe and recognize it, and then I fail to participate in it by using my attention only for what serves me, and sometimes for what serves you. This is available to you too. It is in fact your birthright and your destiny to be sovereign over your mind and experience. As Michael says in our latest book, The Dream of Awakening, you will learn to be free, that is lucid, to supervise your mind and be again its conscious architect. And you will learn to wield your will and focus your attention to create what is joyous and loving. All you get to choose is when you learn, which defines precisely how long you suffer. Consistency in doing the lucidity practices we teach in our books builds competence. Competence becomes lucidity. Lucidity restores your sovereignty. Actually, it restores your experience of your sovereignty because you are the natural sovereign of the mind, which is your tool and servant. If you want the full system, along with several exercises taught therein, the book Rise in Lucidity and Master Anxiety takes you step by step through the techniques that literally saved and transformed my life. It was written from lived experience and designed for moments exactly like this. It is not long. It will give you precisely the tools you need to become lucid in the Lucidity Gymnasium we are presently in, a dream of the world where it has all run amok. And this is where you learn best to be lucid, to waste none of your time and energy. Only lucid dreamers can change the dream. For now, begin with this. Catch the moment, notice your suffering. Reclaim your attention and sovereignty over the mind. Imagifest your triumph. The energy that had been feeding unhealthy cognitive and behavioral loops comes back to you, consciousness, for your good use. The way out is in. My friends, you are the portal. We love you. You can do this. We can do this. And it's up to us to accomplish it. We are the Lucidity team. Together, we, the Lucid, shall change the world. And you know how we're going to do it. Of course. We're going to put out that